Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. This is day 5. Is it day 4? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, this is complete day 5. It's just been ups and downs. I had a hard time getting everything out of my system for a while. And I'm going to have to move this. So I didn't even leave the house until yesterday. Even then, it was just to go to the salon to get my hair shampooed, which I'm so grateful to Panache Lounge in East Petersburg. Ask for Jessica if you're in this area. She's wonderful. And it's a really nice salon. As you know, I don't get my hair trimmed that often. I mean, this is 2.5 years of growth, I think. Sorry. Let me just make an adjustment here. So it's kind of cold out. I'm out of the sling. But I can't get my arm in anything. I'm wearing kind of a horse blanket shawl that I've had for years. So it just wraps around me, which is really a big help. It's kind of blustery today. It looks like it might rain too. And I am wearing a shoulder surgery shirt. I think they're relatively new because even in pre-op or post-op, they were like, "Oh, look what you got! That's pretty cool." I'm like, okay, but it's basically 2 pieces that snap together so that I can literally put it on over this arm, and then I can snap up the side and even the sleeve. So there's no lifting my arm. There is no lifting my arm. So that has been a godsend. My cousin Sharon, who just had shoulder surgery not too long ago, she had a much worse case than me. And she sent me 2 of her tank tops. This one has sleeves. I'm looking forward to getting tanks. I have a tank that someone else ended up giving to me because Sharon's package, even though it was sent priority, it went from Cape May, New Jersey to Indianapolis, and I'm kind of like in the middle of that, and then it went back to Philadelphia, so it's like it's been over a week, and it was sent priority. So yeah, at least I was prepared for that, and I just did a little extra laundry. That's fine. So living with one arm, I'm in a lot of pain, but it's kind of intermittent. I'm off the heavy drugs, for pain. And now it's just kind of a mix between the acetaminophen and ibuprofen, and just sort of an as needed. But I did need something a little extra strong to sleep last night. But today I'm just not going to do any more of that. I am on my way to the grocery store because it is Neon's turn to cook. And Chris wants to take them driving tonight. So I'm going to go get the ingredients needed. And one of us or both of us will help them in the kitchen so we can expedite it. So we were looking for a chicken and rice kind of casserole. But Neon is lactose intolerant to cow's milk anyway. But not yogurt, not sour cream. I mean, there's a lot of things they don't have a problem with, which is great for us. But if they really want cheese, they'll take a lactate pill. And I couldn't really find anything that was really good, but I ran into not a casserole, but a chicken and pineapple called Aloha chicken. And it's chicken and pineapple chunks over rice. And I know they like pineapple fried rice, so I showed it to them last night, and they were like, good. They have not been picking their own recipes. I would like them to find more joy in the kitchen and, make decisions. But it's a good life skill to have. And I think they do pretty well in the kitchen. We just need to expand that. So I wanted to, we have so much to catch up on. The surgery, I was so blessed. The extent of the surgery could have been so much worse. And I'm starting to rotate, my arm and just trying to get more flexible. So I wanted to, I always like to listen to other people's stories because you can learn something from them. And I'm going to give you the lesson first. Always make sure your DNR, your do not resuscitate orders, or your direct advances are on file. I had asked about that when I got there. I was like, somebody asked me about it actually, and I said, yeah, it's on file. Oh, we can't find it. And I was like, you've had it for years. Literally years, because I've had other surgeries here. And it turned out they had just changed it up to a new computer system. And they had to go seek the old system and seek that out and extract it from the old system because they had no idea. So there's always a reason to ask, Hopefully the answer will always be, yes, we have it. But they printed it out and showed it to me to confirm that was my DNR. And that was good. I was like, okay, now I'd like to talk to the anesthesiologist. Well, I will say my friend Jill gave me a ride to the surgery, and Chris came a little bit later. And I did get to see him before I went in. But it turned out, well, I knew this already. Jill actually ran the department and for surgeries and quality control and all that. So she was like kind of head of nursing there. And she retired 3 years ago. And I had mentioned, kind of flippantly, because, we all know I'm in the MAID program. And I was like, well, it would be just so much easier if I just didn't wake up. I know that sounds morbid, but my whole channel's about morbidity. And I had mentioned it to her. It's like, yeah, that would be good. I wouldn't have to worry about anything. So she said, well, DNRs don't count when there's a scheduled surgery. I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, if you're scheduled for surgery, it means you walked in there otherwise well. And so that would not be expected. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, well, they change the rules once in a while and you could check it. But usually it means that they will continue to revive you. And there's something like a 24-hour period or some kind of a period where if you're still not recovering, then they'll call it. And I remember my mother-in-law from my ex-husband, who went in with a diverticulitis and had an attack. And it was an unscheduled surgery. And they had asked, so do you want us to revive you? If something should happen, because she didn't have anything on file there. And she said, well, that's your job, right? And that was so cute. But unfortunately, she did not make it. And they worked on her until morning. And they called it. And I was just a little bit, well, what do you mean? I have a DNR. That's crazy. So I talked to the anesthesiologist and I explained, that I also have terminal cancer and I am in the MAID program and, death with dignity is what I want. And they said, oh, I don't know, we could do that, And, it's usually not just one anesthesiologist. There's usually a head of the team of maybe 3 or 4 people. So I'm in the pre-op room, which is just kind of they're just cubby holes, and you can see everything that's going on around you. And so they sort of had this little meeting in the hall that I wasn't privy to at the time. But then collectively, they come as a group and they said, you know what, we will honor your request. And I almost teared up. I was just, because I wasn't whining or complaining, I was just like, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, they're not going to tell me what I want to hear, they would actually honor it. I don't know if there would have been any legal consequences for them. I mean, I said, my husband's going to be here, you know, and he's certainly going to agree with that. So that was good to know. And I guess that waking up from surgery was kind of a mixed bag, but that's okay. I am still blessed to be here, and it's not my time yet. So that's fine. All right, I've got to go into Wawa, and I'm going to just get a decaf because it's around lunchtime. So I'll be right back. All right. I have not had a Wawa coffee for almost a week. I don't know how I survived. It's decaf, but it's hazelnut. And it's good. So anyway, where was I? It's really not easy driving, I will say this. I've got to sneak that under my arm. I was allowed to drive, like, they said within 24 hours, or 24 hours after the surgery. I wasn't even awake. Still could have been a much worse surgery, of course. But I have the feeling it was successful. And I will also say, my husband, he's a good man. He has taken such good care of me. So, now we're on to the grocery store. So that was one lesson. There was another lesson too. What was it? Oh, yeah. If you're on Retin-A cream. Now, I've been using a Retin-A cream on my face every night for a long time. And I woke up. Now, this is all going to come together. When I got home, I had looked in the mirror and I had these marks on my face, and it almost looked like someone wearing a CPAP machine, you know, or sheet marks, that kind of thing, after they're sleeping. And Chris pointed out like that they looked like more like burns or something, you know, after the next day when they started to get a little darker. I'm like, well, I can't wash them off, so it's not ink or anything. And it occurred to me that years ago, I had gone to get my chin and mustache waxed at a salon because another medium and I had been invited to be speakers at an event near Cape May. Or maybe it was Cape May Courthouse, I'm not really sure. Cold Springs is a historical site. And it was more about paranormal things. So I just wanted to look my best. And I remember going, ouch, when she did it, because I don't know, I don't think I'd had my face waxed very often. Not a waxy girl. In any case, the day after that, it was really dark and was getting scabby. And the event, oh my gosh, I was wearing like CoverGirl stuff, and I use IT Cosmetics now, CC cream foundation. I'll just lay it all out there for you. So CoverGirl was not cover. It just doesn't cover. And maybe that's changed now. So nothing against CoverGirl. But I like my new stuff better. It would have covered. So I was actually pretty mortified at that event that I just had this brown chin and, you know, it was peeling, and I couldn't do anything with it. You know, we had like 75 people we're talking in front of, and I'm just like, all eyes on me, right? Of course. So anyway, so how that ties together was after that had happened and I had told someone at the salon, she looked at it, she goes, those are, I don't know what you called them, burns, but they were injury. And someone else had told me that will happen if you use Retin-A on a regular basis. You have to be very careful. And so I had decided if I ever got wax again, I would stop using it for a week before that happened. So something happens with the skin where, you know, it's like an exfoliation cream, and it softens, you know, it softens the skin so that if you have tape or something, you can just pull the top layer out right off your face. And so that's what happened with the waxing, was the wax and the adhesive. And it took me weeks to get past that. And you have to be very, very careful with scarring. So this is what happened in surgery. It was, you know, I'm sure I was on a breathing apparatus, and it was probably tape around that piece to keep it in place. And I don't think that they were extra rough on me or anything, but I hadn't thought of tape. And the last time I had surgery, that didn't happen. And I'm not using any more product than I was before. But if you use Retin-A, I would suggest that you cease and desist a week before. Now, there's only like one spot you can see. Now, see, I have good coverage because I do have several little lines, and I'm keeping them moisturized. And if something gets harder and like dry, I'm peeling it off and then moisturizing over it, because I don't want to form a scab, because scab can form scar. So I'm doing all the right things with it, but just, no, you really can't see it except for that one little mark. You see that little mark right there. But that was the only part that was kind of deep. And it didn't quite bleed, but it was just about there. Yeah, those are lessons learned. I hope I never have to remember that. I hope I never have a surgery again, for goodness sake. But yeah, I'm starting like my home PT exercises in very limited doses. Like, it's got to be baby steps, but I want to get this mobility going. I see the doctor for follow-up. And that was another thing. I mean, I've still got the bandages on my shoulder, and it looks like a football player's shoulder. You know, it's like all the padding and everything. And I'm hurting. I'm definitely hurting. So I've got this padding on the shoulder and bandages, and a lot of surgeries I've had in the past, I've been able to take the bandage off after a few days. They didn't want that, and don't get it wet. So it's been a little challenging, but at least I have clean hair. And I see the surgeon again in 2 days. And hopefully, well, they had said they'll take the stitches out. It was arthroscopic, kind of like laparoscopic. There's only like 2 or 3 little incisions. But boy, it does hurt, I'll tell you what. And they shaved down the bone, and they did a debridement in the shoulder cap, or what the calcifications that had built there from bursitis. But at least there's no risk of further injuring muscles and tendons and things. And I'm hoping that I can just get away with home PT. So we will see. All right. That's the story from the trenches. Okay. I love you all. Thanks for being there and supporting me. I really do appreciate it. And so I'm going to go in and get my groceries. Love you all, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye.